Leicestershire's new Chief Constable has told this programme that the force's current funding is unsustainable. Rob Nixon's also warning that some crimes are likely to rise as people struggle with their own finances. And Mr Nixon's also paid tribute to his friend and predecessor, Simon Cole. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Serious violence on the streets of Leicester when the English Defence League came to town. It's over a decade since Rob Nixon led the local police response. A year later, he had to deal with this as riots in London spread to Leicester. Now he's taken charge of the force, where he's served in every rank.
Fantastic. Whereabouts was that?
Rob Nixon's just been confirmed in the Chief Constable role he's been filling on a caretaker basis. His first challenge is modernising technology and skills, at the same time as funding a police pay rise that'll leave his current budget with a £17 million hole.
I'm very worried indeed, because actually, when you think about police budgets, 83% of the budget that we have here is spent on our people. I've gone from a fairly sustainable position to what will be an unsustainable position.
Mr Nixon wants to keep one foot on the front line. He's even ordered kit to go out with police motorbike teams, and he's expecting them to deal with the fallout of the rising cost of living.
I'm expecting that there may be an increase in some forms of crime in order to live. There'll be an element of crime that people try to exploit other people that are suffering because of the cost of living crisis. And one of the things I am looking to do is strengthen our internal wellbeing offer for officers and staff, because they're getting exposed to huge amounts of work and often some really traumatic and difficult situations.
He was here too on Belgrave Road when serious trouble flared up this autumn after months of tension between small groups of mainly Muslim and Hindu young men. The police are still trawling through CCTV. Rob Nixon says that's identified around 100 people they still want to arrest.
One of the things that I found very disturbing was social media and misinformation, you could argue, has taken place on all sides. Hugely damaging, because I think the speed of it and the volume of it, it caused a lot of fear and anxiety. People were using social media to galvanise people from outside of the city, and I think one of the biggest achievements was trying to get ahead of the misinformation and to reassure people not to get involved.
Mr Nixon succeeds his former boss, his friend Simon Cole, the country's longest-serving Chief Constable, who took his own life only days after retiring.
It felt like there was a tsunami. He was approachable, he cared, he wanted to make a difference. I personally was devastated because, as you rightly say, I consider him to be a friend. The force dealt with it extremely well. I told them to channel that emotion into serving the public, to honour his memory and his legacy. And I think if he was looking down on that, he'd have thought that was a nice thing to do.
Rob Nixon wants to build on that legacy too, by investing in his workforce, he says, and responding to public concerns to bring more criminals to justice. Jeremy Ball, BBC's Midlands Today, Enderby.